Councilman Henwood.
Here.
Councilwoman Waller.
Here.
Councilman Martin.
Here.
Councilman Vidal.
Here.
Councilman Fischetti.
Here.
And Councilman Bartolome.
Here.
In compliance with New Jersey's Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231 of PL 1975, I hereby declare that adequate notice of this meeting has been provided, specifying that this meeting would be held on this date, that December 7, 2015, in the municipal building at 55 River Road, Edgewater, New Jersey, at 7 p.m. This notice was published in the Record and the Jersey Journal, posted on the bulletin board in the lobby of the Borough Hall, and posted on the borough's website. Can they still please stand for a salute to the flag? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. That's what it's telling me.
It's like the silent service. I'm just, you do the job. Oh, okay. It looks like.
That's 1, 2.
That's not the mark?
No. Okay, we'll go. Okay, it's time to open up the meeting to the public. Does anyone from the public wish to be heard? Yes, Mary.
Mary Hogan, 606 Undercliff Avenue, Westwater. There are two things I want to talk to you about. The first is I have read in the paper that the COA certifications have been due on July 7th for the, what had to be submitted to COA. And the 70 towns had requested it be adjourned for, they had gotten an extension for 5 months, which is today. I don't know if Edgewater did, but I presume that we did. And I was wondering if it had ever been done, and if we could get a copy of it, because we certainly don't want to have the developers have the right to come in and then put their affordable housing wherever they feel like it, and not have the town control. What do they call that, a developer's
Remedy.
remedy? Developer's
Yeah.
remedy.
Village Road.
Because from what I can see right now, where they will choose to put it is going to be probably down by the EDG school, since we have 2 affordable housing down there, or somewhere on Undercliff Avenue, probably south of Hilliard. And I would like the town to determine where the affordable is to be, not the developers. The second thing I had to talk to you about was, I've been looking for the tax delinquencies, because I see them coming up on the other towns in the papers. And I came upon ours, and this year, we're the only town that, instead of seeing it in the paper, all the names, you had to go onto the website. So I went onto the website and brought the first thing that comes up is a page that has what the properties are and how much they owe, but it doesn't have the names of who owns the properties. So if you click on each one, then it brings up who owns the properties. But I couldn't print that, so I had to cut and paste each piece and put it on a separate piece of paper in order to play it out as to who, which I don't think makes it very user-friendly. That's how it's set up. But I love a challenge, so I did that. And I just, going over it, it appears, and this is for 14. And as Mr. Vidal, Councilman Vidal can tell you, the taxes, if you pay taxes and you have delinquent taxes, they apply that first. So if they owe this in 14, they owe at least that amount in 15, plus whatever our taxes went up between 14 and 15. And it turns out that, lo and behold, Mr. Dives and/or his entities owes 69% of the tax that is delinquent in the town and for 2014. And I was just wondering, because I also read in the paper, Mayor McPartland, that you had said on the settlement at the Les Jardins that you thought it would be a good settlement, and that you were sure that Mr. Dives would put in the walkway that's required to be put there. And I was wondering how you could come up with that fact when he
It's not a
also,
fact, I was just making a comment that it's not up to me to satisfy judgment, that it's up to the state and the parties that agreed to that settlement. I thought it was a good thing for the town that we're moving on.
No,
That was my comment. I didn't state any facts, man.
they said you were sure that
Well,
you
that's
would.
Residence Court, I was sure that things would move forward, yeah.
Okay, are we having
That's all.
dialogue? Because we're having
Yeah, pretty much, no,
dialogue.
at that point, yes, but
Okay,
no, we can move on.
then could you tell me if the COA was ever done?
That I'll have to, ask my counsel,
finish
and then, yeah, then council will answer that.
And ironically, 3 of the pieces that he's delinquent on, which are the larger pieces, happen to be for Les Jardins, where he has not put in the walkway. And I just thought maybe you might have a different relationship with Mr. Dives, having, formerly been his stockbroker, that maybe you
I
know
was
him
never a
personally.
stockbroker. Mary, I was never a stockbroker.
Well,
Okay.
I know that for a fact because I happened to, he told me that.
I was never a stockbroker.
Oh,
Okay, that's fine, keep going,
I
that's
can
all right.
see
I
why.
thought, that's just ignorance, but that's okay, you didn't know, I was never a stockbroker, so there you go.
Well,
Okay.
I guess
wasn't.
then he lied to me
He was-
when we saw you down at his office, so,
I wasn't a stockbroker ever, I never had a Series 7 license, ever.
well, you,
I
I thought you were a
You
stockbroker.
called me, I had some big
What did
mistake.
you do on the stock market?
We'll talk later, not now, we'll talk later.
Okay.
I never worked on a
All right,
stock market.
well, and I thought maybe you knew him better than we know him.
No, I wish I was a stockbroker, I was not a stockbroker, no.
Well, obviously, he knows 69% of our
I
taxes,
don't
I don't know
know,
that.
I know he's a wealthy guy,
Stock
that's all
at
I
this
know,
point.
go ahead.
And so that was my issues on the things that I've been reading in the paper, and I was just wondering where we stand on the COA, because if we get a builder's remedy, the person that's really gonna benefit, of course, is gonna be, again, Mr. Dives, since he owns most of the property that's not developed, especially in the south end where, it's been rezoned for highways. That's it.
Okay.
Did you want to answer me, or you want?
I'll be happy to answer. As far as the COA is concerned, we applied and we got an order of immunity from the court. And we had certain things we had to do, and the court appointed a master. And gave us a time period to submit documents to the master, which we have done. And now the next step is the master is reviewing the documents. And is going to make recommendations eventually to the court as to whether or not we have made a good faith attempt to meet our constitutional mandate to give people the opportunity for low and moderate income housing. At this point, there is no builder's remedy that's sought, and actually the only real major piece of land that's vacant, I think, is, and the most developer is probably Hess, not which Mr. Dives doesn't own. As far as the taxes are concerned, I mean, I can only comment that the tax assessor and tax collector set up a yearly sale of delinquent taxes.
Yeah, I know how that works.
And so anybody can buy a tax sale certificate. One way or another, the owner of land is going to pay taxes or lose his house, or lose his property. So, I mean, I'm sure I've spoken to the tax assessor on a number of occasions about various things. He seems to be on top of everything, so I don't know who owns any property as far as who's delinquent and who's not. The Les Jardins settlement came not from us, that came from the state.
I know that.
And that's the state's obligation, is to make sure that its settlement is complied with. In fact, there are penalty clauses, as I remember reading that settlement, I don't have it in front of me, that if a person, the people do not comply within certain time periods, they are penalized. That has nothing to do with the town.
He's been penalized for 10 years because that's when they first started looking into it, and they started issuing penalties, and what he's actually going to pay in terms of the penalties is going to be like $300,000 and some, and that's good.
So it seems that the system seems to have worked.
Well, I don't think that's worked if it being,
I mean, you have an opinion on it, but the state has its own opinion.
well, the DEP.
Well, that's the state.
Well,
Environmental
It's an
development.
arm of the state, yeah.
And they made a determination,
Can I
I guess.
ask you what it means to be, we were found immune, or whatever the term was used?
You mean on
the
COLA?
COLA, yeah.
Means that the court entered an order granting us a period of time for immunity from anybody filing such a lawsuit.
Oh, for a builder's remedy?
Yes.
Okay. I thought you meant in term, but I was wondering, I know that our third round had been rejected. I don't know that it had ever been approved.
No, it was not approved.
So-
There were no rules to approve it.
I know, but they're requiring forms to be submitted based on the old rules at this time.
No, they're not.
Well, what did the town have to submit by
The court
July?
had to the court master made up his own documents that he wanted submitted, included many things, all of which I don't remember at this time. But it's not going to COLA, and it's not based on the COLA rules. It's based on each individual master for each individual town coming up with a determination and the court approving it. I mean, I think there's 47 lawsuits in Bergen alone, and there's 3 judges who are handling them. So they have not yet gone to any real hearings other than making sure that we comply with what they asked for.
Okay.
And we have,
Does anyone else in the public wish to be heard?
Mr. Mayor, point of
Yes,
order. Just to be fair to everybody, it's my understanding that it's the 5 minutes.
Right, I know.
No, I'm not, just because, listen, I have more trouble than anybody holding my tongue when I'm being baited as well, so but I get it. But I think to be fair, to be fair to everybody, it's 5 minutes, and then everybody does it 5 minutes, and at the end, we address all the questions as we write them down. And-
No, that's what I
That's always
asked
been our
them.
No, I know, Mayor, you're fine, you good questions, but I think just we need to stick to it, otherwise
Understood.
everybody's
That was
gonna
my-
have. Yeah.
And does it, I think that 5 minutes is clearly up there. So the next,
And good stuff.
and you know what, Chris, and after the meeting, I'll explain to you what I did. Who's, anyone else from the public wish to be heard? Yes, sir.
Good evening. My name is George Stafford. I'm not a resident. I'm the outreach director for the New Jersey Highlands Coalition, and I've been going around to communities like yours, asking them to consider a resolution of support for the 2004 Highlands Water Protection and Planning Act, which is having a regional master plan review now. Regional master plan should have been passed, reviewed, and passed by now. There's been a lot of delays. I'm told July perhaps of next year. We were concerned about some of the proposals that were made in the Highlands vis-a-vis development and changes in some of the rules. One of the rules that some of the people locally, mostly people who own large pieces of land, wanted to do was change the nitrate dilution standards. And to be as polite as possible, that's human waste and septic systems and how much you are able to release into the groundwater, which means that people at the other end of the pipe, like yourselves, DEP says you get up to 20% of your water from Highland sources through United Water. You have to pay to have that stuff taken out. And being that 90% of the open waters in the state of New Jersey still don't meet federal standards, we're opposed to changing the nitrate dilution standards. What that allows the property owner to do is put more houses per acre on land that is currently set aside for groundwater recharge in the Highlands. They don't have city water sewer kind of the infrastructure there. This is the classic, well in the front yard, septic system in the back, or vice versa. And we're opposed to that and a number of other things. And we have, as I said, I've been going around to communities asking them to consider this resolution. It's a pretty simple resolution. It was 950 words on 3 pages when it was originally written by the Highlands Coalition, but they hired me as a part-time former town councilman to go around. I said, no town councilman's going to read 1,000 words about water. So it's down to 165 pages on on 1 page, including my contact information. So we have 96 communities, 6 of them are freeholder boards, a number of regional environmental commissions that have passed, and it's a simple resolution. It just says, look, the Highlands Act has been working very well as far as maintaining the watershed, and why don't you guys just leave it alone? One of the things that have changed that we haven't been able to convince a lot of people on the Highlands Council is that the real estate market has changed. The idea of doing a Levittown, 70 miles west of New York City, is being replaced by things that are going on in Hoboken and Jersey City and out the train lines, places like Montclair and Morristown in the Highlands, where you've got these downtown condos and, millennials, my children, that prefer to work that way, and the idea of hopping in the car, driving down Route 15 and Route 80 and taking 3 hours to get to the Lincoln Tunnel is not well met as far as the real estate market is concerned. So if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. I do have my contact information here, and you can send questions if you like. I've already sent the clerk an email with the resolution, so. And I'll leave this with you. There's resolutions here, the towns that have passed the resolution, map of the Highlands. So if any questions come up, like I said, I can answer questions now, or feel free to email me or call me. Don't call me now because I left my phone at home.
Thank you,
So
sir.
I'll leave this with the clerk, if I may.
Absolutely. Thank you.
And I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Obviously, we can't answer questions, we just talked about that,
Yeah.
so, but we will take it serious, I'm familiar with it, and I think you've got a good shot here.
Their website, where can? It's all
Uh,
there? It's all there?
Our website is on the resolution. You can check that out, so.
Thank you.
And like I say, call me or email me
It's
if you have a
important.
question.
Anyone
Thank you
else?
very much.
Anyone else in the public? Yes, Valerie.
I don't know why I walk up this way, because I could stand anyway. Valerie Rodina, 16 Hudson Terrace. I have, first, Mr. Henwick, I think we should retract or apologize for that word bait. When the public is talking, we're not baiting, you may not like it.
Oh, absolutely,
yeah,
baiting.
But
I don't apologize for it, I'd say I'm
you think
absolutely
Mr.
baiting.
Logan was baiting?
Not that, in that scenario, no.
I'm sorry?
I think she was being, I think she was, good. You know exactly what happened.
No, I
Baiting,
don't, honestly.
baiting.
No, I don't.
It's baiting.
I think, no, we come here once a month for 5 minutes to speak, and I think, to ask a question is not too much to ask for the public, especially the people who do participate in this town. I have a question regarding Veterans Field. I have a very good view corridor to the field, and I'm just concerned that after the rain, it looks like a lake there. And I know that we're doing all this work, and I know you must be aware of it, and is there going to be something to remediate that, or?
When you're done, we'll-
Okay, and also, and for some reason I notice it on Wednesdays, but those lights in the field stay on till like 10, I don't know why that is. I'm sorry? Tuesday, okay.
Tuesday.
But,
Tuesday, Friday.
yeah, I didn't know why that was.
Okay.
But, thank you.
You're welcome. Anyone else in the public wish to be heard? This time I'll close the meeting to the public. Any conversation from the council?
Just
Yeah, just
a
a-
quick answer on the field,
Yeah.
because a lady from Hudson Harbor came last meeting and said, I'm sitting there watching these puddles, one of the council people sort of, there's another 2 feet that go on it, there's a layer of drainage with piping and stone.
Oh, that hasn't been put there
No.
yet?
Yeah, this is all still, that's a final phase, so
Coming up.
it's good to go. And the Tuesday, Thursday, Friday thing is basically open field night. Soccer kids want to play, throw the football, get the field open. It's going to probably wind down in the next week or two.
Yeah, we actually have a volunteer that lives right there. We're staffed at the community center, but we also have a volunteer that's willing to do that. When we spoke about Michael Pierce, that lives right there in Shelton Bay, kind of keeper of the lights type of thing, someone's not around, the kids want to play, that's the whole idea, to have them out there. So
All right.
we're aware of it, and it's just something that we're.
And he's a contact of yours, if
Absolutely.
we need him, you have a cell
Right,
number,
it's-
he's
right,
right there.
Because it's
Well,
on a
I have a
time.
cell number too.
All right, well, it's on a timer. I believe Tommy put it on a timer for those days, and if there's no one out there, we're gonna try to give Mike the opportunity to go and
Okay.
turn them off, so we don't.
And inclement weather.
So there's some
Yeah,
use,
because there's no, because if it's on a timer, no one's out there, why have it, why bother? But that was a good question. Okay, from here, what's next?
Mr. Mayor, real quick, on
Yes, sir.
Stafford, let's really put it on the agenda next, not for resolution, but let's talk
Which,
about
yeah,
it. Yeah, because it's important,
Okay.
it's one of those things that we should look at, because it's people trying to make money from screwing up the
Okay,
environment.
now, can I have a motion to go into closed session at this time?
I'll make the motion.
Okay, second, and a roll call, please.
Okay, Councilman Randall?
Yes.
Councilwoman Muller?
Yes.
Councilman Monti?
Yes.
Councilman Vidal?
Yes.
Councilman Fischetti?
Yes.
And Councilman Marquardt?
Yes.
Okay. The Borough of Edgewood desires to meet in private and/or executive session to discuss matters that are permitted by the exception to the Open Public Meetings Act as indicated.
We're going to be discussing collective bargaining agreement, medical terms, and medical coverage, and we're going to be discussing personnel.
Okay, there we go.